What's up? What's up? Piloteers. This is John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneur on Fire. You're watching the launch of a TV show right before your very ears. It's TV Pilot with your host, John Foss.
Yo, man, let's get out of here. Word to your mother.
Hey, how's it going? My name is John Foss, and this is a brand new podcast. Because that's just what the world needs, right? Another podcast. We hope this one will be a little bit different, though, and it's something that we are calling TV Pilot. Find out more right after our first sponsor.
Brought to you by the X-Men Surplus Stores, purveyors of things that range from the useful to those that defy description, where they've been selling all types of surplus to all types of people, located in friendly Fridley and sunny St. Paul.
So, my name is John Foss, and I will be your host. I'm also the host of a television channel in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul called the CW23. That's right, we're a local affiliate of the CW, so we bring you great television entertainment like The Flash, Arrow, Vampire Diaries, Jerry Springer, and The Maury Show. I'm sure you heard of all of those, so you're welcome, world. And P.S., you owe us. Anyway, the point of this new podcast is to document the creation of a new TV show that we are building at our station. What's this show going to be about? Well, that's a great question. I have little idea at this point. What I do know, though, is that I want to create a show, and I'm hoping to get some of my coworkers and maybe some random friends and family members to help out. We'll see what we need to do to make it happen, whatever it takes to make it happen. One great thing about working for the CW23 is that we have great managers who are very supportive of us little minions going out and trying new outside-of-the-box ideas to try to make it a better place at our station. And I'm not only saying that to be a suck-up. I mean it too, but the suck-up part doesn't hurt. Our station actually has a rich history of making some pretty cool TV projects. Back in the 80s, the guys that started Mystery Science Theater 3000, they actually used to work at our station. And that show was actually created right here at our studio, which at that time was called KTMA TV 23. Kevin Murphy and Jim Mallon were two of the originators of the show, and they were full-time employees. And Joel Hodgson, who was already a pretty established comedian at the time, was friends with them and helped to create the show. As many of you probably already know, the show was picked up by Comedy Central and later the Sci-Fi Channel and had many, many years of success and was even made into a movie. And it's still everywhere today. You can watch it on Netflix. It's good stuff. You got to go and check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's a classic. Even before that show was a show called The Melon Drop. And The Melon Drop was a New Year's Eve show that we had here at Channel 23 that was a spoof of the other New Year's shows that were played on the networks. And it ran from 1987 to 1989. And the first show was 3.5 hours, which is pretty crazy, of live in-studio entertainment with an MC played by Kevin Murphy. And then they actually had a full fake newscast too and some pre-recorded segments, so a ton of work went into it. The second year was scaled back to an hour and had more of a variety show feel to it, still a lot of originality. And third season was a 30-minute show, and this was entitled The Melon Drop That Almost Wasn't. And it consisted of a spunky little kid who saved the day by talking his dad into going to TV 23 at midnight to do the melon drop. It wasn't going to happen, but this spunky kid said, hey, we need to do this. This is the biggest tradition in the Twin Cities history. I don't know if I can go on unless this happens, and he made it happen. So let that be a lesson to you guys out there. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that kid was a hero. He was my hero. Anyway, another hero is our new creative services director, Chris Iller. When Chris started here at our station, most people weren't even familiar with Melon Drop. We actually have a couple employees who were in the original Melon Drops and still work here, but other than them, it's been a while, and it's been 26 years, and a lot of people don't know that it ever happened. So Chris brought it back, and he was like, hey, this is a great a great show, and it's part of our history. Let's bring this back right now. Let's bring this back this year. And it was pretty late in the game. It was December, I believe, when we started talking about it, and we actually didn't start it until 3 weeks before New Year's. So kind of a rushed project, but actually ended up happening, getting done, and airing, and was a pretty big success for us. It was relatively a big ratings boost for us for a time slot that normally wouldn't even register on the ratings. We saw a big jump, and the ratings actually increased throughout the show. So that was pretty cool. And we even got to bring back the actual actors from the 1989 Melon Drop, the Spunky Kid and his dad. So Scott and Ian Combs, those are the guys that played that part, and they were actually awesome to work with. They were hilarious, just great people, did a great job. So check that out. We actually posted the entire show, the Melon Drop, on our YouTube channel, so you can go there and watch the entire thing, and you will see just how amazing it is. And guess what, America? We are definitely bringing back the Melon Drop again next year, so I know that relieves a lot of anxiety for our listeners. You have that, you know that you have that to look forward to. Put it on your calendar. Immediately run over to your DVR, program that in, because you're not going to want to miss that, and you're going to want to watch it over and over again. Even before the Melon Drop this year, the successful Melon Drop, I had the idea of creating a TV show at our station. However, the success of the Melon Drop has helped the possibility of making this a reality and has given our management confidence that there is a market for a local comedy show. So that has been very helpful. So as of now, I've written part of a rough draft script of the first episode, but there is still a lot up in the air, a lot to do. And as I was getting started, I figured, hey, while I'm working on this, I might as well document the process and create a podcast. So guess what? That's what you're listening to now. And it's not like there's a million other things I could be doing with my time, right? Anyway, before I got started, I thought I would pitch the idea to creative services director / Melon Drop hero / my boss, Chris Illard, just to make sure I wouldn't get in trouble. Sounds like a pretty good idea, right? Here it is. All right, I think it's rolling. Just, you can just clip it on your shirt too, like pinch it, that'll work. Okay, so, you wonder why I'm recording this conversation?
Yeah.
All right, this is just an idea that I'm toying with that I don't know if anything is gonna happen with it, so this may never see the light of day. Okay, so I just started this website. It's like half. Well, it's not even half. I just started putting stuff into it, and it's got a long ways to go. It's still mostly the template. But anyway, over here I have podcast and TV show. The TV show you already know about. The podcast would be like the creation of the TV show.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the podcast Startup?
No.
Okay, well, it's a podcast with like some people starting a podcast company, and it's kind of like a reality show. They like throughout the building of it, they have a podcast, and then it gets like people interested in it, and that's how they raised all their money to create it. And it was extremely successful, and I just finished listening to it, so I was like, well, I'm making a TV show, so I might as well do the same thing.
All right.
So that's what's going on right now.
All right.
So what do you think?
I think that's awesome.
All right.
Let's make it happen.
Any thoughts?
No.
All right. So,
I have no thoughts.
okay. But you're cool with it?
I guess so.
Okay. All right. And
See how it
and
goes.
before I post anything, just because it's obviously CW stuff, I mean, I'll be recording some of it here, like this. I'll let you hear whatever I'm going to
Okay.
put out there so you can make sure that I'm not giving away the secret sauce of what makes the CW23
Top
extremely
secret stuff.
successful. Yes.
Can't let
So.
anybody else know. You're going to jump on this.
No.
Crush us.
It's like the
gonna beat
Coca-Cola
us to it.
recipe,
Yeah.
you know. Can't
like
give it
it.
away. All right, cool. All right, well, interview number 1 in the can. All right, so Chris was in the podcast as a go, and so is the show. So I guess I have a lot of work to do. Therefore, I figured I should meet with the person that is going to be my co-host for the show and talk about where we should go from here. And that is where we are going to end episode 1 of TV Pilot. I think it was a success. But make sure you tune in for episode 2, where you will get to meet my co-host. And trust me, it will be worth it. And if not, well, sorry, it's the best we could do. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast, TV Pilot. And for that, go to johnfoss.org/TV Pilot. That means you, Mom and Dad. I've been John Foss, host of CW23, The Melon Drop, this podcast, and possibly a TV show to be named later.